Here presented. We're going to talk about a book tonight, one of the books in our collection. Right here in this cabinet, you can't see it from here. It's a Texas Cowboy. Cowboy being two words. It was intentional by the author, colloquial at the time. Published in 1885, written by Charles Siringo. Charles Angelo Siringo. Born in Matagorda, on Matagorda Peninsula in 1855. The book was published in 1885 for the first time. It's got a subtitle. It's also known as 15 Years on the Hurricane Deck of a Spanish Pony. So that might give you a little clue, right? So my first question, because I was asked just a minute ago if I was going to ask any questions and maybe answer. The question is, does anyone know what a hurricane deck is?
What is?
A hurricane deck.
A hurricane deck.
15 years on the hurricane deck of a Spanish pony.
Well, I guess you're on a ship and a hurricane comes through. Nope, I'm
I'm
wrong.
wrong. The Spanish pony.
It's, you know what it is? It's a Robert R. King song.
My buddy found them. And Jack are standing in a whole row of hurricane decks.
It's what?
It's the saddle. It's the saddle.
Oh, that's a hurricane deck. Okay.
All right, I got to pass the first. All right. This is taken from a real life. This is the story of a cowboy, written by a cowboy, the first 15 years of his professional life, from the age of 15 to the age of 30. He's actually a cowboy. Let's talk about Charles Siringo real quick. Born in 1855, February 7th, in the Dutch settlement on Matagorda Peninsula, down on Matagorda Bay. Everybody know where that is? South Texas, a little bit, just south of Galveston. Dutch settlement was also known as German settlement. Settled in 1846 by a group from Hanover. They originally settled in Indianola, but because of disease, they moved over to Matagorda. It was 12 row houses, solid row. 12 row houses, and Siringo was born in one of those. He was the second child to Antonio Siringo, an Italian immigrant, and his Irish wife, Bridget. They had an older daughter named Catherine. Charlie grew up at that time when everybody in Texas was immigrants, except for the Karankawa Indians and a few other places. That's how that was. So in the Dutch settlement, very small. He went to school. There were a couple of schools there. Him and his sister, when he was about 4 years old, started walking to school. School was 2 miles away, through a grass burr area along the coastline. And he said he didn't have any shoes until he was 8 years old. So they would go down the beach to school. It would take them an extra half an hour to get to school if there were no grass burrs.
Better on your feet.
Charlie really liked that because he wanted to be a cowboy even at 4 and 5 years old. So he had his own little homemade lasso, he had a stick horse, and he would chase crabs around on the beach. And it took him a little longer to get to school. Mr. Hill, the schoolmaster, just counted him out. He went to school until the start of the Civil War, 1861-62, only through 3 or 4 years. Mr. Hale went up to Yankeedom to go fight with the Bluecoats. That's Charlie's words. But he did witness some of the Civil War. There were 1,500 troops, Union troops, on the end of the peninsula during the Civil War. And there was a rebel camp just up at Caney Creek, just at the north end of the island. And they would skirmish now and then. There was really no battles in the Charlie's father died when he was 1 year old. So he was left to his mother to raise him and his daughter. They had some cattle. They were doing okay. His mother remarried in 1867. And her new husband, Mr. Carrier, supposedly a rich man from Yankeedom, had a farm up in Michigan. So they were going to go up there and live the good life. So they headed off that way. They had to pack up and sell their current place and their cattle. Charlie said for 175 acres, they got $175. And they got $1 a head for the cattle. He got lucky, and a new man came to the island, or to the peninsula, Mr. Galdinian, who brought his family down because they were having some ailments. Brought them to the rich land of the peninsula. And he asked Charlie if he wanted to go up with him and help him bring down his cattle. So at 12 years old, Charlie got his first job as cowpuncher. He was excited. That's what he always wanted to be. 12 years old, he had a goal. I think that's pretty good. He chased crowds all over the So he goes up for the summer and he comes back. So his mother tells him they're gonna move up to Illinois, St. Louis area. So they go down, catch a boat in Indianola, go over to New Orleans, get on a riverboat and head upstream. They get up to St. Louis, Charlie's not real happy. His new stepfather spends all of the family money. He's not really rich. And he runs off actually. Charlie at 12, 13 years old decides he's not gonna go up to Illinois. He's not gonna stay there. He's gonna come back to Texas because he wants to be a cowboy. So he finds his way back down here. Works on a riverboat for a while, gets to New Orleans, shovels coal, works in some bars, makes his way back to Texas, and becomes a cowpuncher. At 15 years old, he goes to work for a couple of very famous Texas cowpunchers, the Pierce brothers. Jonathan and Abel, better known as Shanghai Pierce, in Rancho Grande. So he worked for them for 3 or 4 years, moving cattle up to Dodge City. 1870s, he moves a herd of 20, he's part of a group that moves a herd of 2,500 cattle up to Dodge City. While he's up there, he runs into Wyatt Earp and Bat Masterson. You gotta appreciate Charlie. He ran into every famous person in the West.
Yeah, that's right.
Good Charlie.
I mean, he knew how to get there. You know? He's not a highly educated young man, but he knows everyone. Yeah, he's there in the 1870s, about the time Wyatt Earp supposedly had a confrontation with Texas shootist Clay Allison. Charlie says actually Wyatt Earp never even spoke to Clay Allison. And the truth is that's probably the way it was. Historically, a couple of local businessmen ran Allison out of town, not Wyatt Earp. Only Wyatt Earp and Bat Masterson said it was they that ran Clay Allison out of town. So while Charlie's up there on one of his trips in the late 70s, he runs into a couple of Bostonians, a guy named Bates and Beal. And they're going to move their ranch down from Colorado where the range land has gotten kind of crowded, and they're going to move them into the Panhandle area of Texas, over around Tuscaloosa, Tascosa. And these guys are going to start what's known as LX Ranch, another big Texas ranch. And he works for them for several years. And while he's working for Bates and Beal, he runs into a gentleman named Henry McCarty, about 1877. Anybody know Henry McCarty? Second question.
Billy the Kid?
Yep. Billy the Kid. Henry McCarty was his birth name. He took his stepfather's name, William Bonney. William Henry McCarty was his name. He took William Bonney as his stepfather's name. Billy the Kid, he was 19 years old. Charlie was actually enamored by Billy the Kid. Billy was over in Tascosa trying to sell some cattle he stole from ranches over in Mexico. He had a system. Steal some cattle in New Mexico, bring them to Texas, sell them. Steal some cattle in Texas, take them back to New Mexico.
That's called equilibrium.
That's the cattle business. Later in life, or actually just a handful of later, he met Pat Garrett and he joined up with Pat Garrett, another famous person of the West, and chased Billy the Kid. Charlie never caught Billy the Kid, though Pat Garrett did. He caught him in Fort Sumner just a couple of years later, and that was the end of Billy the Kid. Supposedly, actually there's a rumor that Billy the Kid never died,
You're in
right?
New Mexico, he's not dead, or that wasn't him in that, right?
Yes. So he continues to work for the LX Ranch up until 1883. He's in 1883. The LX Ranch had opened what they call a steer camp in Caldwell, Kansas. Steer camp. They kept their steers there waiting for the trains. They'd bring them in from Texas. They'd hold them there until the trains kept them. The trains would get backed up. Every ranch, South Texas, was bringing their cattle up to Dodge City, which is on that area, to catch the train. So while he's there, him and a group of his cowboys are sitting in the bunkhouse one night, and they're thinking they need to start reading and learn some things and get better acquainted with literature in the country. So their idea is one of them's going to go into town and they're going to pull their money together and subscribe to some magazines or newspapers. So So they're gonna take a vote and see which newspaper, which publication they should subscribe to. There's two young Texas cowboys in the group that don't read or write. So they can't vote, can't write down their vote on a piece of paper. So what they agree to is everyone else will vote, and these two young boys then will speak out to what they want. Everybody writes down. These two farm boys, as soon as they ask, so what do you want? They both yell out, the Police Gazette.
That's not.
So someone asks, why do you want the Police Gazette? Because it's got pictures. And we can read pictures. So they open up the rest of the votes, and lo and behold, unanimously, the Police Gazette wins. So Charlie gets the job of going into town and subscribing to the Police Gazette. He gets a little bored. Around 1883, you know, he's thinking he's working too much and he's not getting paid enough for it. Probably true. He gets married. He marries the daughter of one of his employers, Mamie Bill. He decides he's going to quit. He quits the LX Ranch and he opens a cigar, ice cream, and oyster house.
Nobody ever gets sick after that.
What kind of oysters were they?
Rocky Mountain oysters.
Oh my.
So he does that for a very short time, not even 2 years. And he packs up his wife, Mamie. Oh, they have a baby by then, Viola. He packs up Mamie and they move to Chicago. During this time, these 2.5 years, he's written A Texas Cowboy. For 15 years on the hurricane deck. Taken from real life, the story of a stove-up cowboy, cowpuncher, I'm sorry, stove-up cowpuncher who spent nearly half his life on the cattle ranges of the West. That's Charlie Swindon. So he moved to Chicago just in time for the Haymarket Affair. Anybody know the Haymarket Affair?
Yes.
Labor
Day.
and management looking for a 5-day work week. And there's a bomb goes off, and Charlie thinks, you know what? It'd be good to go look for those people. Maybe I should be a detective. But Charlie goes to work for the Pinkerton Detective Agency. Very well-known detective agency. And actually he'll work for them for the next 22 years. That's the bigger part of his life. Until the early 1900s. So he writes A Texas Cowboy. He gets published in 1885. In 1880, published by M. Umdenstock and Company of Chicago. In 1886, Charlie decides to publish another version. Him and his brother, friend Tom Dobson. They published A Texas Cowboy again with an addendum. And that is a copy of what we have here. They added a 30-page addendum at the back and tells you how to raise cattle and ponies. But actually, that is the most well-known of the two volumes. Eventually, it'll be published by Rand McNally, which is 1890.
What, the addendum or this particular book?
The whole book.
Oh, the whole
It was,
book.
this one, the second one, the 1886 version, was published in paperback and sold out on what they call news butchers on railheads throughout. And it sold. Actually, the Texas Cowboy has sold hundreds of thousands of copies since it was originally published. It is a very well-known book. It is the first known autobiography of a cowboy.
Wow.
So, Charlie becomes a cowboy detective. He works for Pinkerton for 22 years. And again, he does some famous things. He works with Tom Horner. He works with Joe LaForge, looking for Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. He really does. He actually goes undercover as Charles T. Carter, with Butch Cassidy for 4 years. Actually, almost gets arrested because people think he's Butch Cassidy. He gets that close. For 4 years. He never captures them, they get away. But he is, again, involved with more famous people. Comes back, he buys a ranch in Santa Fe, that she calls a Sunny Slope Ranch. Seems appropriate for Sunny Slope. He writes a new book at the end of his career with Pinkerton called A Cowboy Detective. Actually, his original title was A Pinkerton Detective, but the Pinkerton agent sues him.
Sorry.
No, they sue him for confidentiality, for breach of confidentiality, and stop him from publishing it.
Those NDAs.
So he has to change every name on every character, and change it, and he calls it A Cowboy Detective. And it sells very well. Actually, it's a very well done book. He writes a second version of that. Then a few years later, he writes Lone Star Cowboy. It is basically a copy of a Texas Cowboy. He writes a song list book to accompany a cowboy, a Texas Cowboy. He writes another version of for the Pinkerton he calls Pinkertonisms. Pinkerton again, Susie.
I want to see that on Urban
Susie.
Dictionary.
He's not allowed to publish that. He's actually in Santa Fe at the time, and they try to extradite him, put him in jail. But he's such a good friend with the governor of New Mexico, they won't extradite him. So he contracts bronchitis. He starts doing this, we're talking early 1900s now. And he moves to California to live with his son legally. His son from his second marriage. He'll get married 2 more times and divorced within 2 years. Moves to California and actually is there in the early 1900s in time for the early Westerns. He knows W.S. Hart, William S. Hart.
So he worked with Wyatt Earp again.
He meets Wyatt Earp and catches up with Wyatt Earp in the early 1900s and making movies. He actually with Hart, he will be a contributor on one of his movies called Tumbleweed. Never seen it. He knows Charles Russell, the artist. Hangs out with Will Rogers. Will Rogers, who calls his book, his original book, this book, The Texas Cowboy, The Cowboy's Bible.
Wow.
Yes. Lives a good life, but he's getting old. He's got bronchitis, it's really beating him up. He has to sell his ranch in New Mexico. In October of 1828, he dies. I got a couple of quotes here, and I got to make sure I get these right because they're important quotes. Bear with me just a second. J. Frank Dobie, well-known Texas folklorist, right? Charlie Siringo had almost nothing to say on life. He reported actions, he put down something valid on the class of literacy. As remote now as atomic age is from Ramesses II. His cowboys and gunmen were not Hollywood and folklore, they were his honest reporters. Our founder, J.P. Bryan, quotes, just one segment of Charlie Siringo's life would make someone else's entire career. It was really fun reading this book and investigating Mr. Siringo's life. He is one of those people and characters in life that lived a full life. Unfortunately, he died poor.
They all.
But he died with a lot of friends.
Yeah. That's not poor.
You can only wish for that.
And 4
You can only
wives.
wish for that.
Somebody still
No,
talking.
I agree. All right, thank you so much.